Okay, I'd like to invite our next speaker up, Mark McDermott. Many of you know him. Mark is a longtime union member, labor activist, labor educator, and Mark is the education chair of PSARA, Puget Sound Advocates for Retirement Action, and he's going to talk to us about retirement security. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Time is short. Can you hear me? Oh. Time is short, and I'm going to be very quick. I'm going to make an offer to everybody in this room. The Puget Sound Advocates for Retirement Action are putting together a group of our members that we're training to go out and do presentations and workshops about retirement security. We're willing to come out and talk to you, get a hold of us out at our table, and afterwards we'll come out and help educate you and your members about the enormously important fight for retirement security. So it's a standing offer. We challenge you to take us up on our offer. So let me start. Corporate America and their top policy advisor, Chicken Little, have clearly demonstrated that Social Security is going broke. There's no need to have a discussion about this. Chicken Little knows his shit, and it's very clear. It's chicken shit, actually. But it's important to understand. Okay, it's okay to laugh. Chicken Little knows what he's talking about. Okay? This is the standard lie that's being told to us for the past 30-plus years. Now, 10 years ago, PSARA, a small grassroots organization of union and non-union members, put forward the slogan, "Scrap the cap." Okay? We helped start this movement. And what is scrap the cap? There is an income limit beyond which you no longer pay on Social Security taxes. Right now it's $118,700 a year. Only 6% of workers in the United States make more than that. So if we scrap the cap, only 6% of workers, or 6% of earners are going to pay this, and probably virtually nobody in this room would be affected by scrapping the cap in terms of what happens to your paycheck. Yeah, Trump's a different story. So what does the chief actuary of the Social Security Administration say about this? If we phase in scrapping the cap, the system is solvent through 2074, 56 years from now, 58 years actually. They are lying when they say that this system is broken. One act will fix this. It will also allow us to improve benefits for low-wage workers, get a better COLA that reflects the costs for the elderly, and these reforms will directly and disproportionately benefit women and people of color who have been screwed by this system for way too long. This is a racial and gender justice issue as well as retirement security. So people say, we can't win big, we can't change the course of history, and I say, bull roar. In the 1930s, in the great uprising that our ancestors put together, labor and others, two huge movements emerged. One was Share the Wealth, and one was the Townsend Plan movement. They had millions of members. They had tens of thousands of local chapters. They had more members than the entire labor movement. But working with the labor movement and our allies, guess what? They built the power from the bottom up, and we won Social Security, which changed the course of American history, and literally hundreds of millions of Americans have benefited from what our ancestors did. Let's hear it for our sisters and brothers from the 1930s. But it is important to remember that many people were excluded, particularly many people of color and women. And so the structural injustice of racism and sexism was built into this system, and we're fighting to this day to fix those problems, but they can be fixed. So let's get in a time machine. Bang, we're in the 1960s. The next great uprising of the American people, labor, civil rights, women's movement, et cetera, et cetera. Another one was the fight for protections for seniors, and guess what? We built another powerful movement. It was pressure from the bottom. It was massive support from the public. And lo and behold, the next year, we win Medicare and Medicaid, which is a crushing victory that changed the course of American history. And it's people like us who did it. It came from the bottom. It did not come from the top. Yes, we forced politicians to move in our direction, but it was the power of the people, power like us, power of organizations like PSARA and organized labor and many other groups that came together. PSARA didn't exist, but it was organizations like us that said we can stand up and change the course of history. And then corporate America counterattacks. I love people. I'm from Chicago. I like people getting in my face and telling me what you think. Listen to this. We must divide the very effective coalition backing Social Security and cast doubt on their picture of reality, AKA lie to the American people for over 3 decades. We must build a coalition that will directly benefit banks, insurance companies, and others selling to the public. I didn't make this quote up. You can get this off the internet. This is their playbook. Lie, 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 and convince the American people that it's hopeless. And the same year, it's the first great ripoff, the first time in 50 years that we start to get rolled back. It's bipartisan. They needed to stabilize the Social Security system. Instead of scrapping the cap, for the first time they taxed our benefits. They increased the retirement age by 2 years, and if you're a coal miner or a laborer doing heavy manual labor, 2 more years till you can get your bennies? Bullshit. This is wrong. And last but not least, they delayed the annual COLA. And so they put this on the backs of the workers, not putting on the backs of people who were making a lot of money. So let's get in the time machine and fast forward again. This guy was appointed by Barack Obama to be the co-chair of the commission that was going to look at Social Security. I love this quote. Who are these people howling and bitching the most? The people over 60. This makes no sense. These people are lying. They don't give a whit about their grandchildren. Not a whit. Hey, Alan, why don't you go straight to hell? You with me on this? Yeah, go to hell, Alan. You lying sack of dirtbag. I love my 5-year-old grandson. I play with him twice a week for 5 hours. I'm not lying to him. I want to make sure that he's got Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid long after I'm gone. This is deep in my heart. Isn't this in your hearts? Yeah, this is about our kids and our grandkids. And by gosh, President Obama was talking about cutting benefits in 2009, but pressure from underneath. Now the president, Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders are all standing saying, we need to expand Social Security, not shrink it. We're making a huge difference. But we got to build more power. So what are we fighting for? We need to have another great uprising of the people, and everything about this convention is talking about that uprising. And part of that uprising is the fight to make retirement security real for everyone. We need to scrap the cap. We need to have caregiver benefits for people who, particularly women, who are the ones who are primarily staying home with children or sick relatives or the disabled. They don't earn credits every year, so their Social Security benefits are harmed. It hurts women. It disproportionately hurts people of color. We need to fix this. We need to raise benefits for low-income earners. I could spend a lot more time on that, but it's a fact. We need a COLA that reflects our costs, not the costs of people who are working, because we buy more health care, okay? And so inflation is going up faster for seniors than it is for working-age people. Jeff and I both directly benefited from the benefit that you got if your parents were dead or your parents had retired and you went to college. I got a small check. Jeff got a small check. It was one of the ways that we managed to get through college, and they took it away in 1981. We need to bring that back so that working class and poor kids can help go to college. And we need to reduce the survivor benefits for the spouses after their partner passes on. All of this can be covered and paid for by scrapping the cap. It can be done. What are we fighting for with Medicare? Lower the eligibility age so we get healthier people into the pool. Reduce the drug costs. The insanity of the federal government being denied the right by Congress to bargain down the cost of drugs. This is insane. And people pay for this. It is pain. I watched my father split his pills in half. And we found it out and said, don't you ever do that again. We'll have to smack you around, lovingly. Because he could have died from that. because he didn't want to bother us with, can you help us with more money? We need to expand coverage for dental and vision and hearing. You know, hearing aids cost thousands of bucks, right? And then how are you supposed to pay for that if you're getting $1,100 a month on Social Security? Long-term care benefit we need, and this can be done by a small increase in the payroll tax. We can do this, and we can make sure that this system is also stable for the next 50 to 60 years. Just like our ancestors did it, we can do it too. Are you with me on this? Yeah! Yeah, we can do this. So where are our members of Congress? McDermott, I think he's retiring. Smith, Delbenny, and Larson have all endorsed scrap the cap and expand benefits. Murray, Kilmer, and Heck want to expand benefits. We haven't pushed them hard enough to get them to endorse scrap the cap. We're still working on Senator Cantwell, and none of the Republicans are willing to take a stand on this. We need to lean on these people till every one of them is in our corner and they're fighting hard and not just a good vote. Where are we? So what will PSARA do for you? You call us, we'll do a workshop, we'll do a presentation. I'm doing you the thumbnail sketch here real quickly. We just got a resolution to the city of Seattle pushing Congress to scrap the cap. We're going to try and push it through King County. We want to take these kind of resolutions across the state so that we can get the National League of Cities and the National Association of Counties to go on record calling for scrap the cap and help build this national movement. And again, hammer on our members of Congress to do the right thing and lead this fight. And at the state level, the State Labor Council is leading a good effort to look at a state-based supplemental retirement security program, okay? And we also need to look at the longer-term issues of retirement security. And last but not least, we need a long-term care benefit that is real. Because even if you think you're okay today, you may get in a situation where in order to get on Medicaid, they make you spend all of your resources down to $2,000. Hello, impoverishment. I got 30 seconds. Here we go. Now do something here. Well, screw that. Here. We'll get to the last page. I don't know why it won't work. Here it is. This is the only quote that's mine. The ultimate test of a person, of a movement, of a union, or a people is not whether or not we get knocked down. It's what do we do when we get up. Are we stronger? Are we smarter? Are we more determined? And are we more united? This is always our choice. Are you willing to stand up and take our country back and win retirement security for every person in the United States? Thank you very much. We can do this, but PSARA will help. Thank you for being accommodated.
All right. Woo. Incredible. Thank you so much, Mark, and thank you for the work of PSARA and other organizations. Lynn.